A lot of the stuff that ends up on my blog or on my website is stuff I've done on my own, not for a paying client. That's the stuff that I want to do. And so it's kind of hard to explain to someone that's like a business-minded person. On paper, it's like, oh, you're just shooting for free. And it's like, well, yeah, but not really, because it's all a means to an end. I get more polished at working on the fly, like working with models, making connections, refining my lighting techniques, my workflow, everything about it gets tighter and tighter. And then I have clients that hire me specifically for that type of job. Growing up, that's what I always took fine art classes in school, and then photography became available as a class, and I was like, I'll give that a try. I'll see what I think about that. And it kind of clicked for me. The photographers I loved back then, it was like David LaChapelle, Annie Leibovitz, people that were just creating these stories with their images. The lighting was always really dynamic and colorful and vibrant, and they were pulling these sides out of their subjects that you didn't see otherwise, and I wanted to do that. It's just been slowly working toward that and having to remember that, because I'll forget that along the way. I'll get distracted by, well, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and everyone around me is shooting weddings and family, and so I need to try to get weddings and family portraits, and that's how I'm going to make a living, because I don't want to work at Starbucks anymore. And that's kind of the mindset I had when I was first out of school, and then realizing this isn't what got me into photography. That's not my goal. What are the kinds of jobs I want to do? And that's when I just realized I needed to start doing them on my own. I've done the projects where I try to just have, shoot for a year or two and then have a gallery show, and that's kind of the mentality that was taught. And so that was kind of ingrained in the mindset, and it almost made me forget why I got into photography in the first place, which is like, I like the way the light looks on this person, or I like the way the light looks in that scene, or I like what I'm looking at in this magazine. I haven't seen anyone shoot like that before. I want to try and do that. And in the process of like trying to figure out how they lit it, maybe I figure out how to make it my own and kind of build off of that. And for me, it's all about the process, all about like looking at what are other people doing right now that's just blowing my mind, that's making me feel something. That usually comes from just looking at magazine editorials or movies. Movies really influenced me as well. And so the inspiration can come from anything like that, and it's not as grandiose as like, okay, now I have a new project I'm going to work on now for X amount of time and then finish it up in this way. It's like I'll be moved by something and I'll do a few shoots and then I'll get bored and I'll move on. You create something that you're proud of or something that's beautiful. You've done that for yourself, but you also want to share that with others. There's a certain amount of you that wants accepted, there's a certain amount of you that wants approval, but there's also a certain part of you that's like, hey, look at this beautiful thing. And it doesn't have to do with self-promotion. And so if I create something beautiful, I want to share it, and it doesn't have to do with like, hey, look how awesome I am, because I typically kind of shy away from like compliments. If people start talking about me, I try to just bow out because I get kind of embarrassed. But there is that element of like, I want to share this with people. Look at it alongside me. I'm going to stand next to you and look at this with you.